It's me. Hi, I'm the Quizzer. It's me, Quizmaster Jack here. Ready to play some Buzzword for my enjoyment and for your enjoyment. Pop culture and sports, as usual in 2023. Here we go with the pop culture.
In this film, Doc Ostro dies after temporarily boosting his intellect using a machine of the Krell. Its protagonists encounter the master of Robbie the Robot, who has unintentionally created an id monster. For 10 points, what 1956 science fiction film was inspired by Shakespeare's The Tempest?
I think that's Forbidden Planet. Yeah, they said Robbie the Robot. I should have went in on that. But it's what I always get it confused with Lost in Space. I get it confused with Lost in Space. But Lost in Space was a TV show, and that was distinctly a film the whole time. Should have got it on Robbie the Robot.
An actor with this first name played Dr. Victor Ehrlich on St. Elsewhere. Another man with this first name drew out the pronunciation of the word here's while introducing tonight.
That's Ed. Here's Johnny. It's a weird. Now that I think about it, that's a weird word to try to elongate. Like basically a single morpheme and just make it real long. That's tough to do, Ed McMahon. Good job. Who was the Edward from St. Elsewhere? I don't know St. Elsewhere that much. Denzel Washington was on it. And it's the origin of the Tommy Westfall media theory.
A Simple Plan song promises to do this just to hold you in my arms and to try to make you laugh. In the musical Oliver, both the Artful Dodger and Oliver say that they would do this for Nancy. For 10 points, Meatloaf sings that he would do what for love?
Okay. I was buzzing in, expecting to say that, but kind of caught it on the, he'd do anything for love, but he won't do that. So that was the opposite of what they were looking for. They were just looking for anything.
A song by this band opens by noting that life is changing every day in every possible way. A 1994 hit by this band laments how they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs, and repeats, in your head.
It's the Cranberries, right? Because it's zombie. Give me them zombie lyrics. I'll get some points. Changing every day in every possible way. Oh, what's the name of that song? All My Life? Yeah, that's just a song that I know, but I actually don't know. I don't know what the name of that song is. Future Jack, you want to help me out with what the actual name of that? It might just be like Any Possible Way.
In a 2021 film, a character played by this man watches his father, a police chief, be shot by cops.
Yeah, that's Spiral. They're talking about Spiral from the Book of Saw, where they got... It's the Saw spinoff, and they got Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson to be in it. And Chris Rock's the protagonist, and Sam Jackson plays his dad. And they're both cops, and I won't get into the plot of Spiral from the Book of Saw. Still only got 18 points on that because they really milked that to get to any sort of clue. Dare I say best buzz? We got a nice score going into question 6.
In a TV ad for this console, a newborn is launched out of a hospital, ages rapidly in midair, and lands in a grave. Seamus Blackley designed this console, whose Controller S moved its white and black buttons. A live online service.
That's just Xbox. The Duke. The controller for the Xbox. The Duke. That would... If whoever got Best Buzz on that, hats off, because all of the commercials for video games in the early 2000s were just bonkers and weird Sony especially. That's why I was kind of leaning towards one of the PlayStations. White and black buttons. That's the Duke for the original Xbox.
In several 2013 TV episodes, both this actor and his son Max play a character who offers the bad advice, take to the sea. This man played the acting coach Gene Cousineau on Barry, and
it's Henry Winkler. I have no idea what that first clue was even about. Take to the sea. Oh, in the Arrested Development. Yeah. Because he's their lawyer. He's the Bluth family lawyer. I forget if he's duplicitous or just dumb. Either way, his advice is take to the sea in all of the green screen scenes he's in that last season of Arrested Development. They barely even tried to hide it.
This character killed the family of Heather Douglas, who became the hero Moondragon. This villainous brother of Star Fox was turned into living stone by Adam Warlock, ending his plan to impress Marvel. Mistress Death.
Okay. Full-on comic book stuff there, because the whole thing about Thanos in the comics is that he's trying to get with Lady Death. So he thinks he just needs to impress her, and his main way of doing that is getting the Infinity Stones and killing half of the living beings in the universe. Now, the MCU, probably rightly so, decided that that was a little too wild for what they were going with. Like, they got magic and stuff, but the anthropomorphic version of Death and a character who wants to get with her was probably a bit outside of what they were going for in the MCU. So I don't really blame them for changing that aspect of Thanos.
The 2022 documentary Runaway follows this artist on his Runaway concert tour with opener Sway Lee. That tour supported his 2019 album Hollywood's Bleeding, which produced such singles as Wow. The words Always Tired are tattooed.
Okay. Did not... was feeling a little unlucky on that one. Just music I don't know. But I do know that Post Malone has Always Tired posted or tattooed up between his eyes. He's also been really big into Magic the Gathering stuff lately. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that buys the One Ring. I'm not going to go deep into what that sentence means. I'm just calling my shot here. All right, full title, common shortened title, or acronym. Plenty of options here. Probably in a TV show.
During a 2001 episode of this show, Tequin Whittick assisted Major Charles Ingram by coughing. Chris Tarrant hosted the original British version of this show, which included the preliminary round Fastest Finger First.
Oh, yeah, the guy who cheated by coughing on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I don't like that it's not accepting my answer. I'm going to be real honest about that. Yep, not stoked about it not taking... There we go. We got there. That's just, yeah, so there was a cheating scandal. I forgot if that was on the US version or the US version or the UK version. But there's somebody on there, and when he was going over the possible answers, his friend in the crowd would cough opportunistically to give him the hint that he needed in order to do well in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I guess they would have just taken millionaire or WWTBAM. Wootabam. 10 out of 10 again. Because we were able to get the music questions and a solid, workmanly, 137 points. Let's just take you right over to sports. So let's do those sports.
In this country, Kruskeen was the first winner of an annual horse race called the Chazarowitch Handicap. 3-year-old horses compete in this country's 5 classics, which include the Oaks and the 1000 Guineas. For 10 points, what country's horse races include the Epsom Derby?
That's just the UK. There was kind of the only other option. I guess they... Obviously, it wasn't going to be the US. But I thought it may have been another Commonwealth country like Australia. I guess Japan. I think Japan got eliminated pretty early from the possibility of being a correct answer. But I should have just said, like, it's just the common sense that I should have just went with UK.
During a 2019 game that this quarterback's team lost 43-0, he was benched for Josh Rosen. He became the first man to throw for over 400 yards in 3 straight games during a Magic 2018 stint in Tampa. For 10.
They said Magic because I think they're talking about Fitzmagic himself, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I saw what you did, Buzzword. I got you. Same level.
In a playoff game, this man scored 50 points and went a record 30 for 32 from the line to beat Syracuse.
That's pretty good.
This 8-time NBA assists leader retired after winning his 6th title in the 1963 finals. For 10 points, what point guard, the Houdini of the hardwood, played from 1950 to 1963 for the Celtics?
No, Russell won a lot more than that. Talk about Maravich? Bob Cousy. Okay. I was going to get there. I did have the Bob emergency from John Boyce. Check that off your bingo card. Jack mentioning John Boyce in the sports round. I did have his version of the Bob emergency about players or professional athletes named Bob, and there's a little segment on Bob Cousy, but obviously that didn't stick. They're doing one about the Minnesota Vikings in August through September, and I'm excited / terrified. That's right. On the Bob Cousy question, I ended up talking about the Vikings. That's how we do it.
At age 17, this athlete's first World Cup win was in a 2012 night race in Ara, Sweden. In 2021, this athlete failed to medal after falls in 3 races in Beijing. In 2023, this woman broke the women's record for World Cup victories held by Lindsey Vonn. For 10 points, name this American.
I feel like it has to be Michaela Schifrin. Did I spell it right? No, I put a C in. Oh, I put a C in. I was so close. It was downhill skiing, not racing. I thought they were talking about a driver. I guess there isn't really a World Cup. World Cups are driving. Yeah, I mean, once you talk about American downhill skiers and you mention Lindsey Vonn in the question, there's kind of only one other option.
This man's essay, The Green Fields of the Mind, says baseball is a game designed to break your heart. His son played a sports psychologist in the 2016 baseball movie The Phenom. Pete Rose was banned by, for 10 points, what short-tenured commissioner of baseball, the father of an actor named Paul.
Is it Paul? Oh, I did not know Paul Giamatti's dad was 1, MLB commissioner at all, and 2, was the MLB commissioner that banned Pete Rose. That's a good little tidbit. Thanks, Buzzword.
This man is the most recent 4-time champion of a race also won 4 times by Rick Mears, Al Unser, and AJ Foyt. His victory celebration of climbing the catch fence.
Castra Neves. I'm going to put an O in there. And then I'm also going to put Helio. Don't need a judge at all. They're talking about Spider-Man, Helio Castroneves. who is probably the only other F1 driver I could name who won the Indy 500 a lot. Yeah. Not big into F1 racing.
NFL Films claims this man was the first Super Bowl winning coach to get a Gatorade shower.
Oh.
His final game as coach was a playoff loss to Seattle, in which Tony Romo muffed a field goal hold. The Giants won their first.
Parcells. Yeah, Bill Parcells. Tuna himself. Won Super Bowls with the Giants. Didn't win Super Bowl with the Cowboys. Good coach, though. Good coach.
This man, who was blocked by his MLB team from playing for Great Britain in the 2023 World Baseball Classic, is the first Bahamian MLB All-Star. This cover athlete for MLB The Show 23.
It's Jazz Chisholm. Video game question. But I also know he's on the cover of 2023. That actually I picked that up more from watching MLB TV, because any of these sports streaming services, they basically reuse the same commercials over and over again. So there's this commercial with for the show 2023, and it's got Jazz Chisholm in it, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go online and play a game." He ends up getting connected to Derek Jeter, who's also playing the game. And there's a point where Jazz Chisholm goes like, "Oh, nice play." And Derek Jeter goes, "If you think that's nice, you should check out the All-Stars mode where you can play as some of the Negro League greats." Just like the flattest delivery you could ever imagine. And then the commercial ends with Jazz Chisholm going like, "Hey, you sound familiar. Do I know you?" And Derek Jeter goes, "You can call me the captain." And that's not what he asked Derek Jeter. He didn't ask you what he should call you. He asked you if he knew you. I guess that's like a coy way of answering the question, but Derek Jeter was not invested in that commercial. And he's in it more than Jazz Chisholm is. The cover art athlete for the game. Oh, it just gets me every time. And I see it like 6 times every game that I watch on MLB TV. All right, where are we at here? Let's see. We had Fitzpatrick. I think we're in basketball. I think this is either going to be basketball or hockey. There's only been one basketball question. Bob Cousy. And there's been 2 football questions already. We just had a baseball question. So I think this is going to be basketball.
Although fans voted that this team should be named Flight, its owner, who founded BET, rejected that name. Paul Silas, who succeeded Larry Brown as this team's head coach, led it in 2012 to a historically bad 7-59 record.
The Nets? Bobcats. Oh, I watched that thing about the Bobcats. Yeah, they said Silas. That wouldn't be the owner they mentioned for the Nets. That was bad. Oh yeah, and the Bobcats had the worst season of all. Yep, there's a whole bunch of reasons why I got that wrong. That was just a bad buzz.
This club's home colors were chosen in the 1860s to match Garibaldi's red shirts. This club won the 1979 and 1980 European Cup under Brian Clough, who also managed its East Midlands rival, Derby County. For 10 points, what Premier League club is based in the home city of the sheriff from Robin Hood?
Okay. Hey, if they'll give you points for knowing the Sheriff of Nottingham, then you take the points. That's the motto here on Thinking Game Trivia. If they want to give you the points, take the points. That's it for this week. A pretty solid pop culture, and you know what? As it comes down to it, a pretty average sports But I got to do my rant about Derek Jeter in the show 2023 commercial, which very few other people will even care about. And that'll be it for this week. If you liked this video and me going off topic as much as I can in the sports section, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, suggest it to other people. And if you liked Buzzword and want to play the questions, it's still 2023. Bunch of games left in 2023 if you want to check it out. Head over to naqt.com/buzzword. And that's it for me, Quizmaster Jack, and my Buzzword playthrough of week 26. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you later.